Jamal Thomas, welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So guys, I have a follow-up on one of the stories I did the other day about the DNC election. So just to recap, the DNC had an election. There were two rounds in that particular vote. The first round, it wasn't definitive. The second round, Tom Perez won. In Tom Perez winning, however, the DNC, within 1 hour of starting the whole process, 1 hour, went to tell the people that, hey, by the way, we're not going to be giving out who voted for who. Yes, it is against our bylaws to hide information in regards to who voted for who, but we're doing it anyway. Just a heads up. Now, and look, Tom Perez won. Nobody knows who voted for who. At the very least, the public has no idea who voted for who. And I would imagine that Perez or Ellison pretty much just had to take people's word for it. More so Ellison, right? Because we all know what the bias was. So Politico came out with a story today, yesterday actually, that adds a little bit more context to this. And it makes it, I like the story because it makes my point for me. The point that I've consistently made, that you will not get anything done in this party. And that ultimately, the point I made in that prior video, this party is a dead end. The things that you want is progressive. The things that you believe the world should be. The things that you want to espouse. You know, from the standpoint of values. From the standpoint of moral living. Just fairness. You can't articulate those things within the Democratic Party. You can't. I've seen no evidence to suggest that you could. And just to bring this point home that much more, Politico ran a story the other day about the race. So essentially it says, Obama called DNC members himself and had aides, including confidant Valerie Jarrett, former political director David Seamus, and White House Director of Political Engagement Paulette Anistikoff, working members on the phones through the votes on Saturday afternoon. Former Vice President Joe Biden, who officially endorsed Perez, also worked the phones with members. Obama and Biden made 4-point pitch, according to the person familiar with the call strategy. Perez's unimpeachable progressive credentials at the Justice and Labor Departments, his ability to bring people together, his management skills, and how he was one of the stars of the Obama administration. You know, that's amazing, right? Like, you couldn't get Obama to back pretty much anything. I mean, like, you couldn't even get him to do the healthcare law. I mean, for the most part, he just sent it to Congress. The only thing that I'm aware of that he really pushed for was the murder of civilians and to pass the TPP. Well, we're going to add one more thing to that list. To get one of his corporate toadies in power as the DNC chair. They were actually calling between the votes. So, you know, those votes that weren't transparent, even though the bylaws said they were supposed to be transparent, Obama and Biden, in addition to other people that Obama had pushed to call those people and try to get those people to vote for Perez. Now, they're given all these different reasons, 4-point pitch. It's politics. That doesn't matter. Keep in mind, in politics, the objectives that you want to accomplish, oftentimes politicians aren't straightforward in telling you those objectives because people would balk if they knew what those objectives were. So Obama can't come out and just say, look, I just want Perez in that office. He's a corporatist. He's an establishment shill. That's what we want. But he can't say that. He can't say that at all. What he can do is try to come up with reasons to entice people to do it. And look, whether the people that he's calling even believe the reasons that he's given doesn't really matter. The reasons themselves gives them political cover to agree. Think about how, like say you're watching television and there's an argument going on between two people. And you watch it and you're saying to yourself, that argument is absolutely absurd. Why are they on TV making this batshit crazy argument? You're not on the wavelength. What I mean is, there are going to be people who are out there who's backing that particular person who's making that batshit crazy argument. And because they're backing that person, seeing the argument, gives the impression that there is an actual argument, even though the argument probably doesn't really exist. This is kind of the same way. He's making an argument for Perez purely because he just wants him in that seat. It has nothing to do with the argument. Think about your first act, your first thought is emotion. Your emotions come first. Your intellect is behind to explain the emotion. When they did CAT scans, they were looking at people's brain to see, they would ask them a question, or they would try to elicit information from them. Over and over again, they would see the emotion first, and then the brain come in behind it to explain that emotion, to give it context. I would make the case that this is just a political thing in order to get people to vote for Perez. I honestly do. I think the only thing that really is real is he was one of the stars of the Obama administration. And I don't think he was a star of the Obama administration, unless you want to call giving bankers, letting bankers off scot-free. If that's what you want to call the star of the Obama administration, considering what Obama did for Wall Street, protecting them, considering that he let homeowners go bankrupt while at the same time protecting the banks. Yeah, I guess he would be, under that administration, a superstar. He falls right in line. This is somewhat gross, though. The guy who failed so bad at his job, the guy who literally destroyed the state parties with his tenure as president, the guy who was such a letdown in his role as president, that the person who came behind him was a reality show host. That's orange. And that's probably the dumbest man I've ever come across in my life. And yet, he was still a better choice than Hillary Clinton. A lot of those people who voted for Obama turned around and voted for Trump. Knowing that, honestly, knowing that, you know that the Democrats lost everything. These corporatist toadies, they lost everything. You know the perception of the Democratic Party at this point. All of that stuff is pretty much enshrined, at the very least, clear to progressives. And they think it's a good idea for the prior failure and the prior series of failures over the course of the last several years, that they just keep with status quo. I find that to be absolutely amazing. I do. The important part of this, though, is if you have any self-respect as a progressive, why are you in that party? Why are you in the party? I made the very clear point the other day. The Democratic Party is a dead end. Nothing is going to take place in this party. The people in this party are going to be absolutely marginalized, talking about progressives. And look, this is what took place to Keith Ellison. The party in itself, mind you, Ellison is a Democrat. Other members of the party were smearing another Democrat to put their corporate shill in that position. Why are you a Democrat? It's a fair and pertinent question. Why are you a progressive? And if you are a progressive, why do you have any allegiance whatsoever to the Democratic Party? They have zero allegiance to you. And they've been lying for the past several months about this whole unity thing and everything else. They couldn't even run their own process fairly, after crying and screaming about transparency and how transparency was the reason why people thought Bernie Sanders, or why people thought Hillary Clinton cheated. Yeah, this is great. This is great. It's making my case for me. Yeah, guys, let me know what you think. I saw this and I thought to myself, good. With people like Obama making those choices, that party will pretty much get destroyed on its own volition. I honestly believe it. I honestly hope that millions of progressives leave that party. That party is a dead end. And I know people think that they're somehow better than Republicans. They're not. They're not. Scratch that. This is what they're doing in their own processes. Know what they did when they were running against Bernie. In both cases, you have progressives running against some kind of corporate shill of a candidate. In both cases, they went underhanded in order to get their person in power. Why are you affiliated with that party? And why do you think that party is going to treat you fairly? Or for that matter, accomplish any of the objectives that you yourself as a progressive believe are important? They're going to use you. They're going to lie to you. They're going to gash your head up, and they're going to tell you all these liberal ideas and these things that they're going to be like, oh, right. That sounds great. But I guarantee you, the moment that you're suckered into giving these guys power again, you're going to get another Obama. You may get another Hillary Clinton. You're going to get somebody who is not the person who you thought. And all of the stuff that took place over the last 8 years, the drone murders, the deference to the banks, the letting the homeowners go bust, the toppling governments, all that's just gross, nasty stuff. They're trying to pass those trade deals that undercuts U.S. sovereignty. You're going to end up right back there if you're staying with this party. So, that is my warning. That's my warning. My hope is that everybody comes to their goddamn senses and calls this shit a day and let that party die on its own volition. So, thanks guys.